So your days feel aimless and you don't know what to do next? Your pal Mike is here to help. I'm Mike Quackenbush. This is Till We Make It, and today I want to talk about this weird quarantine life we are all living. If you are one of those people who are currently out of work and you're stuck at home, I don't doubt you've probably had a day that feels a lot like the day before it and maybe like the day after it. You may not even know what day it is right now, and that can be a problem. I know it can be very difficult to look at this uncertainty we are all kind of swirling around in as being positive in any way, but there is something positive going on. There is opportunity to make use of time that many of us often did not have on our plates. And it will come to an end. This is finite in nature. And then eventually, even though none of us know exactly when, we will get back to life the way that we know it. But until then, I and you too might have way more time on our hands than we had ever imagined. And that is rife with opportunity if you're willing to seize it. And sometimes it feels as if those opportunities are just falling between our fingers, like grains of sand. And I want to give you some ideas so that all is not lost. The reality of the pandemic response, which includes lockdowns of major cities, states, and even entire countries, feelings of isolation, and the need for self-quarantine have really inflamed some negative emotions. And I'm speaking from my own experience. I've had days where I've felt very angry about what's going on. I've had days that they're quite depressing. There have been days they've seemed very dour, given the state of the world in which we live. And I want to get back to a sense of normalcy, but we have no control over that. That control might be handled by local or national level government that make guidelines or decisions on our behalf in the interest of the public welfare. And we have no say in that. We have no control in that. We have to listen to what we're told by medical professionals and scientists about what's going on right now in the world, and we just got to make the best of it. Those things we cannot control, but there are things that we can. And I can tell you, since I really took that on, it's made a real difference in how I feel day to day, even though there are still some days where I'm not really sure if it's Thursday or is it a Monday? Is it the weekend? It all feels the same. So number one, to combat the feeling that your days are aimless or otherwise have no goals or objectives, I want you to start structuring your days. I want you to build a routine. It might only exist while we are all under lockdown, and eventually it will be discarded. But until then, put this structure into your days so that they don't feel aimless. So one does not just blend right into the next, and before you realize it, a month has gone by, and the only thing that you've done is played a lot of Call of Duty. You need to structure your days. And so, here's just an example of what might work. 8 o'clock, you know you're going to be up and you're going to be out of bed. You're going to make sure that whatever kind of exercise you can be doing at home, you're stretching, doing yoga, you're doing whatever limited calisthenics you can get away with in the space you have available to you, you are working by 8 a.m. By 9 a.m., it's time for breakfast. You got to be putting something into your tank. And by 10 o'clock a.m., you're going to be online doing professional networking. What could you do to increase the size of your professional network so that on the flip side of this incredible era we are all living through, you come back with your career better positioned to accomplish your goals? And I'll tell you what I'm doing at 11 o'clock a.m. You might need to be doing it too. You're going to clean a room. You're going to pick a room somewhere in your space and you're going to go and clean it. You want to declutter your mind? Start by decluttering your space. If you want greater clarity, make sure the space in which you work is clean. Pick just one room at 11 a.m. Guess what? You're cleaning. On my daily schedule, I know 12 noon is when I stop for my lunch hour, and I also like to put a reward for myself at that benchmark. If I accomplish everything I was meant to do from 8 to 9 to 10 to 11, when I take my lunch hour, I give myself a little reward. I watch a couple of my very favorite YouTubers. You might choose to watch them too, like the brilliant Patrick H. Willems. He's got an amazing channel that does great breakdowns of movies, television shows, and other pop culture phenomenon from time to time with a really remarkable insight and a wonderful sense of humor. I am so glad I've got Patrick H. Willems videos to watch. Or sometimes I check out Aaron Marino, Alpha M himself, the father of the internet. He's everybody's dad. He could be yours too. I wouldn't know how to tie a Nicky knot on a necktie if it wasn't for Aaron Marino. I'm so grateful he keeps turning out great content that I can tune into. And if I want to relax and unwind a bit by watching some of my favorite YouTubers, I got to get everything done on my morning schedule or I don't manage to make it to that reward. Every day, once my lunch hour is done and my stomach is full at 1 o'clock, I put aside an hour to learn something new. Every single day, I'm going to learn something new so that I am certain when I come out the other side of quarantine and chill, I have learned a whole lot of new skills. And you may find that this is an exceptionally rewarding process for you as well, to constantly expand your knowledge base. You already know this about me, right? People who take that attitude toward learning new things, I think they are awesome. So you know what I am doing every day after lunch is done. Two things we are unable to affect right now here in the Till We Make It studio. One is the hurricane that's apparently going on outside that's rattling the garage door nonstop. And somewhere we can hear in a neighboring building, someone just started practicing saxophone. After I spend an hour educating myself every day, I put aside an hour to just reconnect with my own personal network. Something I have really had a hard time with is my lack of human interaction during this period of lockdown. I don't see the same people at Starbucks when I go in. Or when I do see people out and about, those rare times that I'm outside of my own space, well, their faces are covered with masks. There's nobody out there to shake your hand or to say hello. Everybody is just very busy, minding their social distancing and going about their lives in a very isolationist way. And I have found that to be, well, a tad bit depressing. So I make it a point to reach out to my personal network. And if you're going to take time to do this, I want to give you this as some insight. Don't be afraid to express to the people you are close with exactly what it is you are feeling. And if people come to you expressing the things that they are afraid of, they are fearful of, or that are making them feel ill at ease, listen empathetically. That's something I can definitely relate to right now because there is a lot of fear that comes with uncertainty. And there's nothing that we can do to pierce that uncertainty. The uncertainty is under the control of people other than you and I. And not knowing when things may even have a semblance of normalcy, once again, only heightens that fear. There are people out there that feel like, I don't know if I'm going to go back to work. Will I even have a job if I do? And how am I going to survive until I get back to work? I feel all of those things too. Don't be afraid to express those things. To bottle them all up and to keep them to yourself, eventually, they will wear you down. It will bog you down emotionally, and it will be like poison coursing through your veins if you can't give voice to those negative emotions that you are experiencing. And believe me, you're not alone in experiencing them. You are not. Portuguese Kenny G next door is killing it right now. I don't know if you're hearing this at home. He's killing it. I think I probably offered up enough examples of ways that you can start to structure your days, but I want to also add this as a general guideline into the idea of forcing your days to have some kind of structure and routine. I am a creature of routine. You may be too. Do all the things you would do on any other normal day. Do not treat these as if these are wasted days, burner days. They're not. Treat them like normal days. If you make your bed every day, make your bed every day. If you shave, you groom your beard, you shower, you get dressed, do those things every day. Having the kind of days where you just linger in your pajamas. And I know it's very tempting to do that. We've certainly all had days recently where we don't even see another human being, I bet. So why get out of your pajamas? Why take off your fuzzy bunny slippers? Treat these like normal days. Give yourself whatever sense of normalcy you can muster in an effort to eradicate this crazy feeling of aimlessness and uncertainty that are forcing the days to come across like one waste after another. Seize the day. Treat it like normal. Force a structure into it so that when we eventually get back to business as usual, you are stronger and you are better positioned to go out there and accomplish your goals. I know it feels like when we all get the all clear, it's going to feel like a big bang, right? Everyone is just going to go rushing out of their houses and doing all the things that we've missed doing. I can't wait to go and work up a sweat at a trampoline park. I'm dying to go and see a movie in a movie theater again. I want to have the freedom to do those things, and I have no say over when I'll be allowed to. But in the meantime, I can make the most of the days that I am being given and the time I am afforded that I never used to have. I have to make the most of it, and so do you. I hope that this has been helpful to you wherever you're at around the planet Earth, whatever you're going through, even if you're watching this years after the madness of what we're enduring here in the spring of 2020. If so, consider subscribing, like the video, and leave me your comments below. You know I'm always down there in the comments responding to things, so on and so forth. I hope that you're well, stay and stay healthy, okay?